Have you ever noticed how money can make you feel all sorts of things?
Yeah.
Excited, anxious, maybe even a little guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're going deep,
Okay.
diving deep
Okay.
into Bari Tessler's The Art of Money
Okay.
to understand why.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not your typical finance book.
Right.
This one goes way beyond budgets and spreadsheets
Right.
to explore the emotional side of our financial lives.
It's a fascinating approach, really.
Yeah.
Tessler argues that we all have a money story.
Okay.
These unconscious narratives we've built around money
Right.
based on our upbringing and experiences. And these stories can have a huge impact on how we manage money as adults.
Okay. So let's unpack that idea of a money story.
Okay.
What exactly does that look like, and how can we even start to identify our own?
Well, imagine someone who grew up hearing their parents constantly arguing about money.
Right.
Tessler actually shares an anecdote in the book about a woman whose father was a gambler
Oh, wow.
and how that experience instilled in her a deep fear of spending and a constant need for financial control.
Wow, that's such a powerful example.
Yeah.
It makes you realize how those early experiences can really shape our beliefs and behaviors around money,
Yeah.
sometimes without us even realizing it.
Exactly. And these stories aren't always negative, of course.
Right.
Someone who grew up in a family that valued generosity and giving back to the community
Uh-huh.
might develop a strong sense of financial abundance and a desire to use their money for good.
So how do we start to unravel our own money stories? Where do we even begin?
Tessler suggests a really interesting technique called a body check-in.
Okay.
Have you ever noticed how your heart might race when you check your bank balance? Or maybe your stomach clenches when you have to make a big purchase?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that tightness in my chest when I open a credit card bill.
Yeah.
I never really connected it to my emotions about money before.
It's amazing how our bodies can give us clues about our underlying feelings.
Right.
By tuning into those physical sensations, we can start to become more aware of the emotional baggage
Yeah.
we might be carrying around when it comes to money.
So it's like bringing mindfulness into our financial lives, which I love.
Yeah.
But how does simply noticing these sensations
Right.
actually help us heal those old wounds and change our money habits?
Well, awareness is the first step, right?
Right.
Once we start to recognize those patterns,
Yeah.
we can begin to question them.
Okay.
For example, why do I always feel anxious when I think about budgeting? Is it because I associate it with restriction or deprivation?
Right.
Like I'm not allowed to enjoy myself?
Right.
Or is it because I'm afraid of not having enough?
That's so insightful. I never thought about it that way before. I
Yeah.
always just assumed budgeting was supposed to feel stressful.
Right.
But if we can identify those limiting beliefs, maybe we can start to reframe them and create a more positive relationship with money.
Exactly. And that's where Tessler's three-phase approach comes in.
Okay.
She guides us through money healing, which we've been talking about,
Right.
money practices,
Okay.
and money maps.
Okay.
It's all about moving from a place of fear and scarcity
Right.
to one of empowerment and abundance.
Okay. I'm definitely intrigued. Let's dive into the next phase, money practices.
Okay.
I'm curious to hear what practical tips Tessler has for actually managing our money in a way that aligns with our values and helps us achieve our goals.
Okay.
So we've explored those deep-seated money stories we carry.
Right.
But now I'm curious,
Okay.
how do we actually shift from healing to action?
Mm-hmm.
How do we put these insights into practice and
Yeah.
create a financial life that feels good?
That's where money practices come in.
Okay.
The second phase of Tessler's approach.
Okay.
And it's all about finding systems and rituals that work for you, not some cookie-cutter budget plan.
That's music to my ears.
Yeah.
I've tried those one-size-fits-all budgets before, and
Wow.
they just never seem to stick.
Yeah.
What does Tessler suggest instead?
One of the most powerful tools she introduces is values-based bookkeeping.
Okay.
Instead of those generic categories like housing or transportation,
Right.
you reframe them to reflect what truly matters to you.
Okay. Give me an example.
Sure.
How would that actually look in practice?
Imagine instead of groceries,
Yeah.
your category is nourishing my body.
Okay.
Or instead of dining out,
Yeah.
it's connecting with loved ones.
Oh, wow.
Suddenly, it's not just about tracking expenses. It's about consciously aligning your spending with your values.
Wait, I'm actually getting chills.
Really?
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
It shifts the whole feeling from restriction to intention.
Huh?
But does Tesla really suggest renaming every single budget category?
Not necessarily.
Really?
It's about finding what resonates with you. Maybe you only change a few key categories, or
Right.
maybe you come up with completely new ones that reflect your unique priorities.
Right.
The point is to make your budgeting system feel personal and meaningful,
Yeah,
something you can actually stick with.
I love that.
Yeah,
Because let's be honest, most budgeting advice feels so dry and impersonal.
I know.
It's all about numbers and spreadsheets,
Mm-hmm.
not about the emotional connection we have to money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what makes Tessler's approach so refreshing.
Right.
She acknowledges that money is more than just a financial tool.
Right.
It's a reflection of our values, our dreams, and our deepest desires.
So beyond this values-based bookkeeping,
Right.
what other practical tips does Tesla offer for actually managing our money?
She emphasizes the importance of finding the right tools and systems that work for you.
Okay.
It might be a budgeting app,
Hmm.
a simple spreadsheet, or even just a good old-fashioned notebook.
Right.
The key is to find something that you'll actually use consistently.
And I imagine consistency is key here, right? It's
It is.
not about finding the perfect system. It's about finding one you can stick with over time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And she also recommends scheduling regular money dates
Okay.
with yourself or your partner.
Uh-huh.
This is dedicated time to review your finances,
Mm-hmm.
check in on your goals,
Okay.
and just generally get on the same page about money.
Money dates. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
It takes the pressure off and makes it feel more like a collaborative process. But let's be real, money conversations can sometimes be,
Yeah.
well, a little tense.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But that's why creating a regular ritual
Right.
for these conversations is so important.
Yeah.
It takes the fear and avoidance out of it
Mm-hmm.
and allows you to approach your finances with more intention and openness.
Tesler also mentioned something about using our bodies to understand our relationship with money, right?
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that a little?
Yes. She calls it a body check-in
Okay.
and encourages us to pay attention to our physical sensations
Mm-hmm.
when we're dealing with money.
Right.
How does your body feel when you're paying bills?
Yeah.
When you're making a big purchase?
Yeah.
When you're thinking about your financial goals?
You know, now that you mention it, I realize I always hold my breath when I'm online banking,
Oh, wow.
and my shoulders tense up when I have to confront a stack of bills.
Yeah.
I never really connected that to my finances before.
It's fascinating how much our bodies can reveal about our subconscious beliefs and patterns.
Right.
By tuning into those physical cues,
Mm-hmm.
we can start to uncover those hidden money stories that might be driving our behaviors.
This is all starting to make sense.
Yeah.
But how do we actually use this body awareness
Right.
to change those ingrained habits and create a healthier relationship with money?
Well, once you become aware of those physical sensations,
Right.
you can start to explore what's behind them.
Okay.
Ask yourself,
Yeah.
what thoughts or feelings are triggering this reaction in my body?
All right.
Maybe it's a fear of not having enough, a sense of guilt around spending,
Right.
or even a feeling of overwhelm.
So it's like a mind-body connection, right?
Yeah.
Our physical sensations are giving us clues about what's going on emotionally.
Right.
And once we identify those underlying feelings,
Mhm.
we can start to address them.
Precisely.
Okay.
And that's where practices like journaling,
Mm-hmm.
meditation, or even talking to a therapist can be incredibly helpful.
Right.
It's about getting curious about those emotions,
Yeah.
acknowledging them without judgment,
Mm-hmm.
and finding healthy ways to process them.
Okay, I'm really starting to grasp how these money practices go beyond just managing numbers and spreadsheets.
Yeah.
It's about creating a more holistic and intentional relationship with money. That takes into account our emotions, our values, and even our physical well-being.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what sets Tessler's approach apart.
Yeah.
It's not just about achieving financial success.
Right.
It's about using money as a tool for personal growth and self-discovery.
So we've explored healing our money stories and creating mindful practices.
Mhm.
But what about those bigger financial goals?
Okay.
Like buying a house, starting a business,
Yeah.
or planning for retirement.
Right.
How does Tessler address those in her book?
That's where money maps come in.
Okay.
Third and final phase of her approach.
Okay.
And it's all about aligning your financial goals with your long-term vision and values.
Okay.
But unlike those rigid financial plans we often see
Right.
Tessler's maps are designed to be flexible and adaptable,
Okay.
recognizing that life is constantly changing.
Okay, I'm definitely intrigued. Let's delve into this concept of money maps and explore how we can create a roadmap for our financial future that feels both inspiring and realistic. We've unpacked our money stories and explored mindful practices, but how do we actually translate all this self-awareness into concrete goals and plans for the future? That's where I'm feeling a bit stuck.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. That's precisely where money maps come in.
Okay.
The third phase of Tessler's approach,
Okay.
it's about envisioning your ideal financial future, but with a twist.
Okay, I'm all ears. What's this twist that makes Tesla's money maps different from typical financial planning?
It's all about flexibility and adaptability.
Okay.
Think of it as a roadmap that
Hmm.
guides you towards your goals, but allows for detours and scenic routes along the way.
Right.
Life rarely goes exactly as planned, right?
So true. I've tried those rigid financial plans before, and the
Yeah.
minute something unexpected pops up, the
Yeah.
whole thing falls apart. How do these money maps account for life's curveballs?
Tesla encourages us to create these maps with a sense of fluidity.
Oh.
She even suggests using visual tools like mind maps or vision boards to make the process more creative and intuitive.
That sounds way more fun than staring at a spreadsheet. But how do we actually connect those dreamy visions to concrete financial steps?
It's about breaking down those big, audacious goals into smaller, manageable milestones.
Okay.
Let's say your dream is to travel the world.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the sheer cost, you could start by setting a smaller goal saving for a weekend getaway to a nearby city.
I see. So it's about building momentum and experiencing those small wins along the way. But how do we ensure these goals actually align with our values and not just societal expectations of success?
That's where those money stories and values we uncovered earlier come back into play.
Right?
Tesla emphasizes checking in with your core values at every step. If financial independence is a top value, your map might include milestones related to paying off debt and building an emergency fund.
Okay, that makes sense. But what happens when life throws a wrench in the works?
Right.
Like an unexpected medical bill or a job loss? Do we just scrap the whole map and start over?
Not at all.
Okay.
Remember, these maps are designed to be flexible.
Right.
Tesla encourages us to embrace those unexpected detours
Yeah.
as opportunities for reassessment and adjustment. Maybe you need to revise your timeline,
Yeah.
shift your priorities, or even discover a new path altogether.
That's such a relief. It takes the pressure off having to predict the future perfectly. But I'm curious, does Tesla provide any specific examples of what these money maps might look like in practice?
She does. She shares stories from her own life and from her clients,
Oh, cool.
illustrating how these maps can help people achieve a variety of financial goals, from buying a home
Right.
to starting a business to funding their dream retirement.
It's so inspiring to hear how real people have used these tools to create a financial life that truly reflects their values and aspirations. But I imagine creating these money maps can feel daunting at first.
Yeah.
What advice does Tesla offer for getting started?
She emphasizes the importance of self-compassion and experimentation.
Okay.
It's about approaching this process with curiosity
Hmm.
and a willingness to try new things, knowing that it's okay to make mistakes along the way.
That's so reassuring. It's not about getting it perfect right away. It's about learning and growing as we go. But what about those of us who feel totally lost when it comes to finances? Where do we even begin?
Tesla reminds us that we don't have to do this alone.
Right.
She encourages seeking support from financial advisors,
Yeah.
therapists, or even trusted friends and family members.
Right.
It's about building a community of support that can guide and encourage us on our financial journeys.
You know, that's a theme that's woven throughout the entire book, this idea that financial well-being is not just about numbers, but about our emotional and social well-being as well.
Yeah.
It's about connecting with ourselves,
Yeah.
with others, and
Yeah.
with the world around us in a more meaningful way.
Beautifully said.
Yeah,
And I think that's what makes The Art of Money so much more than just a personal finance book.
right.
It's a guide to living a more intentional and fulfilling life with money as a tool to support that journey.
So as we resurface from this deep dive into the art of money, what's the most important takeaway you'd like to leave our listener with?
I'd say it's this. Money is not the enemy.
Right.
It's a powerful tool that when used consciously and compassionately can help us create a life that truly aligns with our values and aspirations.
And remember, dear listener, This is your journey. There's no right or wrong way to do money. It's about finding what works for you, what feels authentic and empowering, and what allows you to live a life that feels both abundant and meaningful.
So take a deep breath, tap into your inner wisdom, and embark on your own exploration of the art of money. It's an adventure worth taking.